parents, this video is going to address some of the sound issues that come with learning a violin. These issues can be applied to both children and adults, so if you're a parent that is also learning how to play the violin and you're having some sound issues with squeakiness, this video will hopefully help clear some things up for you. First of all, the biggest thing that I always try to get right away is that violin up here on the shoulder. A lot of people want to see what's going on, and it's a lot easier to be here. We want it up on the shoulder because the bow needs to be straight with the bridge and the fingerboard to get a good sound. So here's the fingerboard, there's the bridge. And we want to stay, when we're just beginning, right in the middle. So practicing straight bows and just trying to get a good sound at all parts of the bow can be a great warm-up and will really help sound. Definitely playing on the fingerboard doesn't sound good at all, obviously. And playing on the bridge, not good. Even playing too close to the bridge here, without the right amount of pressure, it's not going to sound good. So we want to stay in the middle and get a straight bow. So if your child is constantly going like this, then we want to make sure that they put it back here. Now, one issue might be they don't have the right support in the shoulder. I use a sponge. I've used a shoulder rest, and I developed all sorts of neck problems. And so I'm back to this sponge. But most people come up with their own apparatus that's comfortable for them. I recommend with the small children, they use a sponge if you're on a 1/8 or 1/10 size violin, because the space here between the chin and the neck is pretty small when you're a little kid. Once you get older, you need to get a shoulder rest, and I recommend the Everest brand of shoulder rest. There's also a Kuhn and Wolf. There's all sorts of different things you can try, but I recommend Everest. It's really solid. It doesn't tend to break. The legs don't break off as easily as some of the other ones, and it's also one of the least expensive brands. So for $20, you can get an adjustable Everest shoulder rest for the back of your violin. And you can get that from music stores or online at places like charmusic.com or Southwest Strings. Anyway, so this issue is first and foremost in doing the straight bow. The other problem we have is that students can get a good sound on an open string, but then as soon as they do fingers, they start pressing harder because they're pressing with their fingers, and then they're also pressing with their bow. But we need to get the two hands to be independent, where we have strong, solid fingers, where the fingers are pressing that string all the way down, and the bow needs to still be gentle and smooth. So a lot of times you'll hear, which is fine, and I just say get rid of the rocks out of your bow and try to have a gentle bow, like a balloon or a feather. We talk about things that are gentle. The other thing that could cause sound problems is being nice and gentle down here, but too harsh down, or not hard enough here. So gentle, gentle. And we don't get the string all the way down, like if you're hearing this. Got to get that finger all the way down and find that sweet spot where you can get a nice ringing sound. Also, if you use too much pressure and not enough bow, you don't get a good sound. Or if you use too much bow and not enough pressure, we just get kind of that surface sound and not into the string. The frog is the heaviest part of the bow, and that's where your hand is. So there's a lot of weight down here. We don't need a lot of pressure here. You can barely set the bow on the string. and still get a good sound. As you move towards the tip, you have to press a little bit more to get the sound to be even. So trying to make even long tones can be tricky. And then loosen up on the pressure. I'm lifting my wrist up to get the weight off the string. And when you change bows, the goal is that you don't hear the bow change. So that we don't hear, oh, we just changed bows, or that kind of thing where you slide onto the fingerboard straight up and down. If you can't reach the tip of the bow, if your child can't reach the tip, that's fine. The arm should just come out nice and in front and then back. No sawing away from the shoulder, but this kind of motion. Small triangle, square, large triangle, where my arm is extended. I know it's hard to see, and it looks distorted here, but this is with the bolt fully extended. And then we come back to, in the middle of the bow, we're at a square, and then triangle position. That concept works a lot better with adults than children. Really, children should just be concentrated on not playing on the fingerboard and not playing on the bridge. Don't worry about focusing so much on small triangle, square, large triangle. Just get a good sound. And each sound that is good usually involves a straight bow. So those are some of the major issues. I'm probably missing something. All sorts of things can be factors. So also, bending the thumb on the bow, making sure you're not strangling the bow. We bend the thumb because we really want our fingers to be lazy on the bow, never squeezing, but nice and supple, as though, things should just be nice and flexible. The hand should move like this, as though through water, just nice and slow motion with the wrist. And this is something that can be developed. We especially work on this technique as we have years of violin playing under our experience, but you can think about, later you want to be able to do that. So that's why I'm always like, pinky needs to be curved, thumb needs to be bent on the bow. This is the beginner's bow hold, really influences the sound. And then later we move to the advanced bow hold with the thumb inside next to the ferrule. So those are some of the issues, and you might want to check those if you're getting a less than pleasant sound. And if you have any questions and you're still getting a bad sound out of the violin, you can always email me, and I'd be happy to address any of those issues personally or in another video. Okay, thanks.